this image was used to sell a magic amulet you'd put around your neck or attach to your cell phone to protect you from some fake created evil scary thing so that people could sell things. This is the umpteenth time I've done a video about this kind of stuff, and I want you to understand, again, very importantly, that what you're looking at is an image that was used to sell something to people. The original source for this image is literally probably, almost exclusively from some website that was selling infrared cameras and showing before and after images of a person's face after doing something to change their face temperature. Now, I want you to, again, you can pause it and try to figure it out, and there's a very subtle hint in it. And remember, I want you to look up the Homer Simpson episode. Well, you'll figure out which one in a minute. So anyway, first things first, this is the 20 degree Fahrenheit, 10 degrees Celsius temperature range. That's not exactly the numbers, but it's pretty damn close. Because these individual colors represent a gradient of temperature range, that's more or less accurate. This is 32.3 degrees Celsius, and this is 22.3 degrees Celsius down here. And it goes from purple, another purple, a dark, almost black color. I forgot what this one's called. Kind of a green, yellow, orange, red, and this one's pink. No, it doesn't have to make sense. I don't care. Now, the point is that the one on the right shows more heating, and I'm going to point out a couple of things. This spot here represents the interior of your ear canal towards the eardrum. It is warmer in there. That's why they picked that spot to point an infrared detector in your ear to check your body temperature, internal temperature. This spot here represents an area right in front of the ear, just before you hit that eye socket bone that wraps around, and that area there is also warm up as well. Blood vessels come out of there or whatever. Up here is right above your eyebrow. This is the left eyebrow. Just if you put your finger next to your eyebrow, to the left of your eye, that would be about right. And this up here is basically the temple. Now I want to point out over here that the same hot spot, the ear canal and the space in front of the ear, are the same. Yes, someone's screaming and typing at the same time, that's fine. And then the next hottest spot, here and here, representing those areas I pointed out in the eye, are also warmer, but not the same temperature as they were before. They're a lower temperature. And again, none of these temperatures are exceeding 91 or 92 degrees Fahrenheit, or this is colder than human body temperature. Now, someone's screaming, yeah, but no, stop. Now, we're going to bring up a couple of things. This is often attributed to being 100% can't debunk it proof of radiation exposure. Originally, this was marketed as an image for some other reason, but the one that you're seeing, the way it's arranged now, was marketed to prove that this was a camera that could detect nuclear radiation. Then it was changed to thermal radiation because people figured out that's Celsius. This was normally a very blurred up image, or they would cut out this entire part here and this part here and just show the two pictures. I want to point out that the collar on the person's neck is about standard looking. Looks like a collar. Over here, you'll notice that it's gotten colder here, and we have less exposure. Okay? I want you to look at the hair. You notice this is a temperature and this is a different temperature. This would be colder than this. Okay. Now we see that that's gotten skinnier and seems, well, this stripe here is seemingly colder, or is it warmer than here? Now this gets kind of confusing, but look at the underside of the nose and the underside of the nose here. That's colder, this is warmer, but the face has the same contours, it's just changed color going up through the temperature gradients. Basically, if I had a color palette that I could organize in an order, I could probably cycle this up and down and get this image pretty close. Okay, now look at the outer ear. You'll notice it's colder by a major amount compared to right here, which is very hot. Here, it's only a little bit different temperature than the interior of the ear. And then it goes down to the next notch, which is way down, which is green. Over here, we have hot temperatures here going through the gradient, and then it goes straight past green to the blues here. So there's a major temperature difference between here and here. And here, there's not much difference. Okay, those are your hints. There's one screaming one here in a minute. Now, these are the images isolated, and it's got some details I'm going to read off. STC, and this says 1, 2, 1 through 2, 3, 4, 3 through 4. And it's missing some other information. And this is the cleaned up image. And this is a much older version of it. And I'm going to read the number on it. It says number 90, 60, 08, 03, 04, 05. The next image, which looks like this, is the same number except 0403 instead of 0405. Oh yeah, this is the earlier image. There's another one that's 0404 that's missing, and this is 0405. They're in the wrong order. Yes, the Homer Simpson episode where he thought he was going to be the after instead of the before image. Or was it the Flintstones episode? Actually, it's both of them. So let's move forward. After 15 minutes of cell phone use without the BIOPRO Harmonizer chips. Huh? The magic amulet that you would stick to your cell phone or wear around your neck on a chain like a crucifix to ward off the evil cell phone signals or radio signals or whatever it is they were selling it for. They would sell it to ward off viruses and diseases. Yeah, this was used to sell something that didn't work. The BIOPRO Harmonizer chip with a cell phone. And this was supposed to be the use with the harmonizer. And you notice they're in the right order. This is the before image because it's 0403, it's 403, and this one's 405. So yes, they're literally backwards. So is this 15 minutes after using the cell phone? No, this was a claim based on sticking something on the back of the phone. Now remember, this is from 2008 or so. Remember what cell phones looked like in 2008. Remember what the average person's cell phone looked like they carried. Where was the antenna? Some of you had a cell phone old enough that had an antenna sticking out of it instead of a patch on it. But in both cases, it was towards the back of the phone, away from you, because putting it next to your head is a waste of radio frequency signal. Or you believe cell phone manufacturers are just stupid. Okay, now it's all text. You don't have to read this on the screen with me. You can just stop the video all the way back there, I told you, and just read the damn description. Thermographic images of a head lacking citation, a link to a source, references, no explanation of what the colors represent, and most people forgetting to, remove the sequence number because before and after pictures are flipped. No mention of cell phone use in almost any of the image sources that are older. It's not evidence of health effects after 15 minutes of cell phone use, but if you want it to be, they're in the wrong order, which means somehow cell phones cool off your face. A 2017 Forbes Junk Science article said it's from Wikipedia and by a user named Monquaylob. A 2016 article in an academic work claimed this is an image that was posted on Wikimedia Commons at a now dead link and gave a link to it. From these, I was able to confirm it's Wikipedia user Monquaylob, a Louisiana State University student who re-uploaded this and many other images from another website for an article on the reliability of Wikipedia by making his own effects of cell phone radiation exposure article as a test. And now you can read his work. It's still there. Category thermal images or thermal images of people is where it was, but it's gone now. You can look up user talk. That's where he stuck it, so it wouldn't be a real article, so it wouldn't be found. And you can look up the history of it, and you can look this up. But the thing is, that's where the image came from. That's literally the source everybody was using after the year 2015 around Christmas time. Actually, way before. It was like on the 8th of December. He said he got it from, I want you to understand this, he got it from an anti-vax, anti-fluoridation website that talked all sorts of conspiracy theories called encognitive. A user on encognitive named prokopton had re-uploaded the image there. And he claimed he got it from Maria Tiffin on an article called Smart Health And it's a blog post that used a separated version of the image to sell a 2004 BIOPRO Harmonizer chip that was debunked a year later, and the company was essentially a pyramid scheme. That's that image. That's it. Now, the image is probably just a couple of generic thermographs of people, and I can explain exactly what the image is for if you want to know in a minute. But again, they're in the wrong order, so they can't be from 15 minutes of cell phone exposure looking worse. That's not how it works. It's the wrong goddamn sequence. Anyway, the harmonizer chip was debunked, and there's the link. Here's the web archive for Maria Tiffin, and she was in South Africa. A bunch of people in New Zealand and South Africa taken in on it, and it was a pyramid scheme and a network marketing scheme. Now, you can also find this linked through 2013 as an image that was partially reused by an academic who didn't use citations, sources, or reference, and gave no explanation of what it was. It was thrown in with a bunch of other images, again, about radio frequency exposure, as if anybody would put up with that. And again, it was treated as being probably not useful by people who reviewed it. 2012, a healthy building science website called this an image they used in their cell phone safety article, and they used the big image of both of them that I had there. And before that, the Express Tribune's Deadly Dirty Electricity and Electrosmog article also used the image. 2009, Crackberry website put it in their top 10 best and worst devices cellular radiation article, and used this image with, again, no citation, no sources, no references. However, all of them, all the people commenting on all of these things, referenced a possible citation. But and if you're curious, the image has changed position repeatedly, but it is actually where they got it from in 2009. But again, 2008, from Maria Tiffin to sell stuff that didn't work, and she at least put them in the correct order. The main source that people alluded to, mostly it was people commenting, and the comments are almost impossible to load, and they reload the page and they disappear. So anyway, Fisher Clinic website sold another talisman called the Molecular Resonance Effect Technology device. They're still selling it probably. This hoax was listed as the source for the image maybe by some people visiting, but that was 2008 as well. The only thing we have a reference to, this image was used as a way to prove there's a fake problem to solve so they could sell you stuff. Now I'm bringing up Deborah Lee Davis and Ronald Herberman. Ronald Herberman said the following. Now this is a person you're supposed to trust. He was talking about Bluetooth headsets, saying they can still carry health risks if one wears the headset turned on all day. But since the lower level of such radiation is cumulative, don't wear it all day. Radiation sources can be cumulative if you don't remove them, yes. But radio signal sources can't be cumulative, or your radio would always make noise based on the radio channel being on and tuned in. That doesn't work for radio frequency. That's not how it works. Radioactive material and carcinogens can be cumulative, not radio signals, because, again, if you tune into channel 5, it doesn't get clearer and clearer and clearer the longer you watch it. That's not how it works. He's wrong. Next, it seems very likely that Bluetooth headsets reduce exposure to radio frequency radiation. And his reasoning is that the full strength of the radiation coming from the cell phone tower to the antenna on your phone is much higher, and it's a shorter distance for the radiation from the phone to get the headset. The headset sends a signal to the phone, and the phone sends a signal back to the headset if it's a Bluetooth headset. At the time he did that comment, cell phones had dropped to such a low intensity, and Bluetooth had actually increased in intensity, that they were the same intensity level, so it was a wash. Next, him saying radiation comes from the cell phone tower to your antenna on your cell phone, and that's what's dangerous, when that's not how it works. I don't know how he was taken seriously. The tower doesn't detect your location and send a directional signal. Okay, now the reveal. Obviously, these images are flipped the other way around. Okay, this is 403 and this is 405.